Look, we all like to trust our gut, right? But what if that intuition is actually costing you big time? There's a huge shift happening in how the smartest decisions get made, moving away from that gut feel and towards solid, hard data. In this explainer, we're going to break down the journey to mastering what's called data-driven decision-making, or DDDM for short.
So really, it all boils down to this one fundamental choice that every single modern leader is facing. On one side, you've got your intuition, that experienced, subjective gut feel. And on the other, you have a systematic, evidence-based strategy. So the real question for any leader today isn't if you should use data, it's how you're going to wield it as a truly decisive competitive weapon.
And the scale of this opportunity is just, well, it's staggering. Get a load of this number. This is how much data is generated around the world every single day. It is a massive ocean of information. And the challenge isn't just collecting it anymore, it's about converting it, turning this raw data into the rock-solid foundation for smarter, faster decisions. So what even is DDM, really? Well, think of it as a disciplined process. It's all about using analysis and real-world evidence to guide the choices you make. The ultimate goal here is to slash that uncertainty and seriously boost your confidence that the decisions you're making are going to lead to the outcomes you actually want.
To get there, organizations typically have to climb what we can call an analytical ladder. It's a journey, really, through 4 different levels of insight. You start out just reacting to what's already happened, and you end up proactively shaping what's going to happen next.
The very first step on that ladder, that's descriptive analytics. This is the foundation, square one. It's all about looking back at historical data to answer a really simple question: what happened? This is how you understand your past performance and set a clear baseline. Okay, next up, we climb a little higher to diagnostic analytics. This level goes a lot deeper. See, it's not enough just to know what happened, you've got to know why it happened. This is where you really start digging in to find the root cause of a problem, or maybe even an unexpected win. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because we shift from being reactive to being proactive. Predictive analytics takes all that history and uses it to forecast the future. The question here becomes, what will likely happen? This is how you start to see market shifts coming, spot risks before they blow up, and find new opportunities. And then, at the very top of the ladder, we have prescriptive analytics. This is the most advanced level, the holy grail. It doesn't just predict what's coming, it actually recommends the best thing to do about it. It answers the question, how should we act? It can suggest or even automate the absolute best response to get the results you want. And this table just lays out the whole journey perfectly. You start with descriptive, just figuring out the past. Then you move to diagnostic to find out why. Then you get to predictive, where you're anticipating what's next. And finally, you land on prescriptive, where you're actually optimizing your strategy. It's a super clear progression from just documenting history to actively shaping your future. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we climb that ladder? Well, it takes a powerful toolkit of analytical methods. Let's take a quick look at a few of the key techniques that analysts use to turn raw numbers into real, actionable insights. Now, don't let the names throw you off. These are the real workhorses of data analysis. So, regression analysis, that helps us figure out the relationship between different things, like how much does our ad spend actually impact our sales? Time series analysis is all about looking at data over time to predict future trends, like next quarter's demand. Sentiment analysis is so cool. It can basically read what customers are feeling from thousands of reviews or posts. And then you have powerful stuff like a Monte Carlo simulation, which lets you run thousands of what-if scenarios to see how things might play out. The power of these tools, especially the simulation stuff, is just profound. And this quote captures it perfectly. You can literally create a low-cost, strategic testbed to see how a new strategy might work out before you bet the farm on it. It just fundamentally changes how you make big decisions and manage risk. Of course, the path to becoming a data-driven organization isn't always a walk in the park. So let's ground this whole journey in reality by looking at the practical steps, the roadblocks you're definitely going to face, and some of the incredible wins that are possible. And here's the crucial point. This isn't a one-and-done kind of project. It's a continuous cycle, a loop. You define your goals, you prep the data, you explore it for insights, and then you implement and evaluate. And that last step is key, because the results feed right back into the beginning. You create this powerful feedback loop that just gets smarter and more accurate over time.
But yeah, there are always hurdles. And if you look at this table, you can see they pretty much fall into two big buckets. You've got the organizational side, the human element, right? People resisting change, which means you need a really thoughtful change management plan. And then you've got the technical side. You'll almost always run into issues with bad data or information stuck in different departments. And that means you've got to invest in your tech and have a rock-solid data quality plan.
But man, when you get past those roadblocks, the results can be genuinely transformative. I mean, think about a big retailer analyzing weather data to perfectly stock its shelves with supplies before a hurricane is even announced. Or a bank's AI stopping a fraudulent transaction in a split second, saving millions. Even your favorite streaming service is constantly analyzing what you watch to give you that perfect, you've got to watch this recommendation. This isn't science fiction. These are massive, real-world wins happening right now, and they're all powered by data. So what does it take to lead in this new data-fueled world? You know, reaching the summit here isn't just about buying the right software. It actually requires a whole new kind of leader with a powerful, blended set of skills.
Modern managers really have to be hybrids. The hard skills are non-negotiable at this point. You need to be fluent in digital tools and have a real competency in AI. But, and this is a big but, those have to be paired with some serious soft skills, the ability to manage change, to communicate clearly, and to lead with emotional intelligence. That's how you bring your whole team, your whole organization, along for the ride.
And that brings us right back to where we started. In an economy that is absolutely powered by data, you have to ask yourself, is relying on your intuition still a strategic asset, or has it become a high-stakes risk that you just can't afford to take anymore? The answer to that question is going to define the future of your organization.